It's good to have your company. Welcome to the News Hour. We start with the latest on the crisis in Haiti. A deployment of 1,000 Kenyan police officers to help restore law and order in Haiti has now been put on hold. It comes after Haiti's Prime Minister announced that he'll resign. Kenya's foreign ministry says that without a political administration in the country, there's no anchor on which a police deployment can rest. Ariel Henry says that he'll step down after a transitional council has been set up. Now, the United States says they're expecting members of the Transitional Council to be appointed in the next 24 to 48 hours. The council will then take steps to appoint an interim Prime Minister. Meanwhile, chaos has descended onto the capital, Port-au-Prince. Heavily armed gangs have attacked the National Palace and set part of the Interior Ministry on fire with petrol bombs. Teresa joins us now from Santo Domingo in neighbouring Dominican Republic. And of course, Teresa, as you join us, we're wondering whether people there are actually aware of the latest developments of the Prime Minister resigning and how this will all affect the ground reality that millions are facing there.
Well, we've been at the border between the Dominican Republic and Haiti for several days, and most of the people we spoke to were expecting that at some point Prime Minister Ariel Henry was going to resign, mostly because of the situation on the ground, because of the fighting, the hundreds of thousands of people that have been displaced, the attacks carried out by gangs on the infrastructure, and the pressure that the Prime Minister, or the former Prime Minister now, was currently on. We have seen, for example, on a pre-recorded message, the Prime Minister acknowledging of the situation that the country is in right now. You know, when Ariel Henry was first appointed as Prime Minister back in 2021, after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, he was supposed to have a transition government to call for elections, and that's something that he did not do. And that's why for the past years we've seen protests with thousands and thousands of people on the streets demanding election, demanding to have the choice to elect their leadership. But in those years, what we saw is gangs strengthening, increasing their power, increasing their control over the capital, Port-au-Prince, and other cities, among other things. We've been able to see several images of people celebrating, of people hoping, in a way, many I've spoken to are saying that hopefully they'll have this time the chance to elect their leadership. However, it's not clear yet how that is going to happen, mostly because of the reality on the ground, because gangs control over 80% now of Haiti's capitals, because of the presence of gangs in different parts of the country and the dire humanitarian situation that hundreds of thousands of Haitians are facing right now, with displacement, with shortages of food, of water, of medicine. So there's, in a way, a desperate situation on the ground right now, and that's why this transition government was appointed that hopefully will be able to lead the country into a more peaceful time.
And of course, Teresa, you know, news that's just dropped within the last sort of 90 minutes is about Kenya putting on hold the possibility of its police force, or some of its police force, going to Haiti to help with that security situation. It creates another level of uncertainty for that transitional council. They have to be put in place very quickly to be able to deal and reassure the international community that they are in control, or certainly they can make the decisions that the international community want.
That's correct. And what this transition government that is being set up as we speak, suppose is going to be set up in the next 24 to 48 hours. It's going to be composed of political parties, of religious groups, of the private sector, among others. And they are supposed to choose a prime minister. And that prime minister will have, in a way, what many say presidential palace. He'll be able to sign decrees, assign different ministries, and in a way lead the country to free and fair elections. While this happens, of course, all eyes are what will happen with these Kenyan police officers that are supposed to give assistance to the Haitian National Police. Let's not forget that the Haitian National Police has been requesting desperately assistance to fight the gangs. They say they need weapons, they need ammunition, they need bulletproof vests, and that's why they were waiting that this multinational security support team would be deployed in the near future. Now we will have to wait, and it adds up to the trouble that Haitians have been facing. You know, we've been hearing about this multinational security support team for over a year, and it's still not on the ground. Now it's been delayed once again. Apparently, there's also problems with the funding. The United States has confirmed, for example, that they are assigning over $300 million to assist this force. However, the United Nations is saying that only $11 million have already been deposited. So, you know, there's lots of issues surrounding this whole mission. But what's certain is that Haiti has no time. As I was saying before, there's a humanitarian disaster on the ground. The World Food Program, for example, says that it has only some food to distribute for a while, only for about 2 weeks. But after that, there are hundreds of thousands of people that are in desperate need, that have been displaced and that are struggling to cover their basic needs.
Teresa Beaufort there in Santo Domingo. Thank you, Teresa. Let's cross over to Nora Love. She's the Emergency Director at the International Rescue Committee and has been overseeing the organisation's response in Haiti and joins me now live from Elizabeth in New Jersey. Good to have you with us, Miss Love, on the programme. Can I just begin, before we talk about your aid operation, about this news that's just dropping that Kenya is not going to send its police force to Haiti, because you really can't do your job without security. And you need security on the ground, and you need it long-term as well if you're going to distribute aid. How important is this news now in the way that you have to decide how much you can send to Haiti, if you can at all?
Well, you know, stability is key to the future of Haiti. The IRC puts out a watch list report every year, and Haiti's been on the list for the last 3 years. And instability is one of the largest risks facing the Haitians. And so having the ability to freedom of movement, freedom of access, freedom to do your day-to-day is so important for the Haitians. So we need that political stability to offer that to the Haitians.
One of the suggestions that's being made, certainly by the conversations that were happening between regional leaders in Jamaica over the last 48 hours about Haiti, was about bringing aid in via a port. What is the process, and how are you actually getting aid in?
So IRC works directly with local organizations. We are a partner-led program. We work with 4 local organizations providing health services, women protection services, including responses to gender-based violence, case management. We also do some water, and we were there for some of the cholera. So for us, it's really important to have community acceptance in the neighborhoods where we're working, and through our partners, we're able to do that. They have the established relationships with the people of the community, including some of the gangs, so they're able to go in and out and provide those much-needed services. So for us, it's the community acceptance and working with the local partners who know the environment better than we do. And
that's the overarching umbrella, you might say. In the here and now, and in the emergency that's unfolding, what are your main, you might say, your main priorities in terms of the aid? You just touched on some of the elements that you actually managed to help those community groups with. But what do you think is the real top priority right now?
Well, I mean, I think it would be continuing access. You know, a few of our organizations had to actually hibernate these last few days because it's been unsafe to send their staff out to the field. So getting them back into the clinics, getting them back out, doing the mobile health outreach, and it's really important. So their ability to be able to access their programs is first. I would say the second is making sure, you know, we can bring products into the country so we don't run out of the medicines that are desperately needed. So ensuring that the borders are open to receive goods. So continuing access into the most needed areas with materials to be able to do that with.
In terms of the knowledge you have of how much or how many supplies you actually have in country, and what you'd like to get in, what is the timeline, as far as you're concerned, of having a situation that is, you might say, severe or critical or urgent? I'm not quite sure what your definition of an emergency would be in terms of those supplies running out. What's the timeline we've got to work with?
Well, I think it's now. I mean, there's 44% of the country's in food insecurity. So the importance of making sure that people are being fed and they have access to the markets and they have access to buy the foods, I think it's now. I mean, I don't think we should. We need to ensure that all the materials that are needed and that people have access to the basic services they deserve.
Nora Love from the IRC. It's been good speaking to you. Thanks for joining us from Elizabeth.